I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. All right, guys, this is episode 145.
Woo!
We're rolling right along and hopefully rolling out of the summer soon. And there was a thing. I know Jerry watches the Weather Channel. This isn't music related, but I'm curious. Do you call it fall or is it autumn or what do we call it?
I say fall.
Yeah, I heard autumn since we were kids, right?
I came up with winter, spring, summer, fall.
There you go. Jim, what about you?
All you got to do is call.
There it is. I don't know if that's a West Coast thing or if that's just how we were brought up. Because I don't remember autumn unless I was watching the
something
Peanuts
fancy,
cartoons, the Great Pumpkin or something. I don't know. But
I always say fall.
Yeah.
It seems easier. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not even really sure where that came from because the leaves fall off the trees.
Right. I think so.
That makes sense to me. I like that.
I don't know.
I've always thought.
Yeah.
Okay, music related. It was just we're in football season as of yesterday. Yeah. It was just announced that Kendrick Lamar is going to headline the halftime
Super
show.
Bowl, right? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put myself out there as old and white. I would not know Kendrick Lamar if he walked in front of me. And I know he's probably the highest selling rapper of this generation.
He's up there.
I've heard the name, but yeah, if he walked in front of me, I probably wouldn't.
Okay, well, that was my question. Can you give me a song? Can you give me anything that he's done that you'd be familiar with? Either one of you.
I can cheat and go to Apple Music, and then I'll see a single and go, oh yeah, he does that.
No, but I don't spend a lot of time in popular music.
Well, quick question then: if you could pick a band now or before to play a quick set at the Super Bowl, Jim, who would you pick?
Wow. I'm trying to think who's done it. Who did it last year?
Couldn't tell you.
Rihanna, or was she the year before?
A couple of years ago.
I know Tom Petty's.
Seems like they kind of go back and forth, but I'm not 100% sure.
I know Tom Petty's done it.
Rock and roll, and then they do like a hip hop artist. It kind of
they used to even mix them a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe it was Lady Gaga last year. I don't know.
Some of the big ones have already kind of done it.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if Metallica's done it.
No. I believe they have, and I that would be a good one.
Wouldn't that be
Metallica had? That's why I didn't.
That's kind of what I thought when
they would be my.
It was bouncing around in there.
There's not a lot of bands that are in the charts.
Right. Well,
right. So I mean, Metallica. I think Green Day. I don't know if they've done it before.
I thought they were.
I think they were. I think they have.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think that, but
I'm not a football fan, so I mean,
okay.
It shows that I don't know who's.
Yeah.
Hey, I am a football fan, and I can't tell you because I'm not interested in the halftime.
I don't either. I check out. I watch something else, or
Yeah. Usually the Puppy Bowl or something else is going on at halftime.
Yeah.
I'll flip the channel, go to the bathroom. I know it's a little extra longer than the regular halftime, is then go back, but I don't know.
When I was kind of invested in watching the Super Bowl, there was a string of several years. It was a blowout every year.
Right.
And I was like, the best thing is the wings and the commercials. But the game tend to suck.
Right.
Yeah. Takes too long.
I think last year's game was close, right?
Last year went into overtime.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs beat the 49ers. So
if it were like that, I'd probably watch it every year. But
right. Okay. All right. Well, Kendrick Lamar is going to be headlining the halftime show. So
has Taylor Swift done it?
I don't know.
Ooh,
she seems like she'd be a natural pick. I know Katy Perry's done it. I think Lady Gaga's done it.
Right. Very good.
I know Janet Jackson did it once with
the wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or in Timberlake.
Timberlake caused the malfunction, right?
Yeah, he
Wasn't that
did.
the whole thing?
He got an extra handful. He should have been mellow.
Yeah.
I remember watching that one and saying, did I see what I just
thought I saw, right?
So fast. Yeah.
I didn't see anything until they started showing it.
Yeah. And
on
then
repeat.
later, back when America Online was online, I went over there and got online. Oh, sure enough, there was a malfunction. Son of a gun. Who knew that it was going to do so much to people's careers?
Yeah.
Anyways, I know, Jim, you've got a question for us, right?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Okay.
So question number 1, who decides who is the best at something? And I'm going to preface this. I was watching some kind of thing on YouTube and they were doing what's that show? Family Feud.
Okay.
Right. So they had 10 answers on the board. And the question was, name the greatest rapper.
Okay. Oh, I saw that clip.
You saw that clip,
that was
right?
Hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people were naming some big names that were not on the clip. Well, so I'm looking down through the comments. Right. Stupid me. And somebody said in there, well, they must have asked a bunch of children and white people.
Right.
And so I said, you realize that white people are the largest consumers of hip hop.
Right.
Right. And his argument was, well, but they're not the creators / curators / whatever.
Right. And they're largely not the artist either.
Right. But my point was, so my question is, who gets to decide? Is it the only people making the music? Is it the gatekeepers? Do the fans have any say in? Right. Obviously, the fans drive streams and whatever sales are left in the world these days. And I try to imagine myself, if somebody had asked me that question, I would probably disqualify myself because I would say, I wouldn't even know how to answer that question. Same as if they said, who's the greatest country artist?
Yeah.
Right. Well, let me back.
Right. It's not fair for me to even answer that question.
Let me explain what I know of that. If you go to the Family Feud to watch a taping, they give you, every audience member gets cards.
Oh, is that how that works? Oh, okay.
And you check them off or you fill them out. And then when
it's always 100 people. So do they just randomly select 100 or there's only 100 people in the audience?
They probably just take there's I would say there's roughly 100 people in the audience, maybe more. Not a whole lot.
Oh, okay.
But they would give you a stack. I think I received 3 or 4, 5 cards. I forget how many ever it was. And then you'd fill them out and then you'd pass them down and that was it.
So it's all done in the audience.
And then they would use that weeks later, maybe months later.
Gotcha.
So that's why those questions, something like, especially like that, is so bizarre and out of touch, because they didn't go down to Tower Records and stand around and ask the people hanging out in the hip hop section, who's the greatest,
who's the greatest rapper.
Right.
Anyway, but it kind of got me thinking, like, who gets a say?
Well, that's easy enough. We get to say, we do it on our show every 2 weeks. Our top 3 songs, right?
Right.
There's
we're the music media, so obviously our voice counts.
It's opinionated. You're purely opinionated, like our show.
Right. And bottom line is, people listen to what they like, and they really don't care what other people say. They like to argue about it, I guess, a little bit, right?
Well, don't you think that's the purpose, especially online, when some kid who probably is doing a thesis on, music or something, comes up with a top 100 list. Look at the Rolling Stones guitarists. We were laughing about those people, half of those that made the list.
Well, the point of Rolling Stone is to create clicks, right? They're just trying to generate advertisement dollars. So if they can say some things that are somewhat controversial, like Joan Jett being a better guitar player than Ted Nugent,
it stirs it up. Right.
Right. But they're not going to name Ted Nugent because they just hate Ted Nugent.
They just don't like him. Right.
Right.
No, but I think, to answer your question, anybody who's asking the question is the authority. Whether, again, you're asking for an opinion. I'm not asking because there's no scientific data to tell me Eddie Van Halen is the best guitarist, period. Because
that's very subjective.
Well, that's art. Yeah. That's
depends
art
on
in a
your
nutshell.
Depends on your flavor. Yeah.
Right. So unless something can be scientifically deduced, it's an opinion.
And right. And I always say it's not a competition.
Right.
It's art.
It is art. And what floats your boat might sink mine. You just don't know.
That's right.
But I think, I always say that there's no accounting for taste.
Right.
And my taste generally runs counter to whatever the popular opinion is a lot of times.
Well, you know what I found out, especially from doing this podcast and having some people on and different things, I found out my taste in music is very vanilla in the sense of I don't go too far outside the box.
You're not particularly eclectic, but you surprise me every once in a while too.
I like what I like.
You'll pull some things out like,
but I don't like art house, artsy fartsy. I like my singers to sing in key. I like, just what
kind
other
of things we grew up on.
Right. Yeah.
I always say melody and harmony are kind of important to me.
They're very important. Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
I like the Beatles, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great melodies, great harmonies, right? Yep. Beach Boys, take your pick.
Right.
All right. Okay. So second question is, what makes an album a classic album?
And not just the parameters of the age. Are you talking about,
to me, anything over 25 years is fair game.
Okay. But in Jerry, I want you to chime in on this.
Yeah.
An album can be 25 years old and classic in the sense of because it's aged.
Yep.
But it can be a pile of poo and not worth listening
absolutely.
To. It does.
So
is
it a classic? Like when we say like, oh, that song's a classic.
So it almost has to be prefaced. Yeah. What is because I jump on you guys. I like a classic album that we've heard of. Radio airplay, something that's familiar, and I always, you can tell me, oh, but this is a classic album and it's a rock album, but I've never heard one song on it. How? Yeah. And I listen
I probably pulled some things out that are probably wouldn't fall into that category.
Right.
Right. Wasted was wasn't in the top 200, right?
No, but like, again, for me, because being familiar with the genre and Pete Way and UFO and everything else.
Yeah. You'd probably heard some of those songs.
Right. Would I call it a classic album in the sense of I got to have that in my collection? Not necessarily.
Right.
So, and what about you, Jerry? What do you classify?
To me, it's something I play all the way through, over and over. It doesn't necessarily have to have a story that connects these songs, but that's why I love my Who. Mm-hmm. Just drop it and go all the way through, every time. So that's what a classic is to me. Just I don't put it on for 2 or 3 songs. I play it all the way through, and I like it.
So then my next question would be, the Who are a classic band.
Yes.
Are all Who albums classic?
Not their last one. I liked, can't even think of it. Came out in 2006, Endless Wire. That was great.
Right.
And then this last one they did a couple of years ago, just titled The Who. It didn't really blow my skirt up. Right. I was like, what happened?
But you know what? It's part of the collection.
Yeah.
And we've talked about, are you a completist? And I don't think you have to be to appreciate a band wholeheartedly.
No. Yeah.
But it does help because you see a band grow, and then all bands do the same thing. If you guys can tell me another band that is not in this frame, they all seem to hit a wall, and then there's nothing necessarily new after a certain album, after a certain point.
Sure.
Maybe even get stale.
Sure.
I mean, can you think of any band that has gotten better every album after album 25 years straight.
No,
No,
there's
25 years straight.
There's gonna be a dud in there, or not as. But like Pete Townsend says, I write the same old song.
Yeah. It seems like once the hunger is gone for that striving to be on top, they get a little complaint. Now I know Bruce Springsteen, every album's better than the next one. We listen to them all, and I'll say nay. They hit a wall, and then he put the acoustic guitar up and put me to sleep. So every artist, doesn't necessarily take it over the top to the next one.
Well, I'll say this. Once I feel like kind of burned by a band, then I'm kind of checked out.
Right.
So if the first 3 albums are great and I run out and buy the 4th one, because I think the single is decent and the rest of the album, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they got up to a point and then that was kind of it. Now they might come up with something better down the road, but typically hasn't been the case.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing that has changed all that is streaming and iTunes and all this stuff, because now you don't have to go out and actually buy an album.
Right.
You can sample it and you can tell right off that I like this or I don't like this. And what I'm finding, I go back and I didn't even know Nuff's Enough was still putting music out. And I go back and, now it's Chips Enough's gone. It's Donnie Z singing, and it's the same music, but not the same vocals. And it's not the same.
Yeah.
Things like that. But at least I didn't spend $25 on a record to find out.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Very interesting.
And records ain't cheap these days.
Nope.
Well, speaking of that, I'm going to go to a quick mail call and then we'll jump into some music. Years ago, I had the original Black Sabbath album on LP, and it got lent out to somebody and never returned. So I ended up buying it on cassette, and it had the song Evil Woman on it. And then I bought the CD, and it didn't have Evil Woman on it. And I was really perturbed by that. So I picked up the original Black Sabbath. This is a 2-record set, 180 gram.
Oh gosh.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's got
my favorite.
Jerry's favorites, because the second record is
all demos,
outtakes, and radio versions of their singles.
Radio edits.
Yeah.
Which is typically what you heard anyway.
Pretty much.
Right,
Radio
exactly.
edit wouldn't kill me, but yeah.
And one bonus I know Jerry would love is the song Black Sabbath, but with no vocals, just the instrumental of it. So,
ooh, that sounds neat.
But anyways,
yeah.
I picked that up. And no, it's not cheap. Records.
No, especially when it's a 2-record deal.
Right. So anyways, why don't we jump into some new music? And Jerry, why don't you go first?
Yes, Jim and Frank. I have the artist Blackcat Elliot out of Albany, New York. Excuse me. The name of the album, released August 11th, so about a month ago, is When the Smoke Clears. The tune Frank's going to spin is Enjoy the Duchess. And Blackcat Elliot are 3 troublesome working-class heroes who enjoy getting together and writing guitar-driven rock that emulates the CBGB's era, including outfits like The Clash, Ramones, the New York Dolls, the Sex Pistols, and Nirvana. Since 2001, we've been writing about our mischievous adventures into garage rock songs and have shared the stage with the Super Suckers, the Fleshtones, the Bullies, and more. And they're on all social, blackcatelliot.com, Facebook, Reverb, Spotify. And we have Costas Gus Highs, and thanks, Gus, for getting back to me personally after Frank, because I had some questions, Frank. Good. So Costas Gus Highs, vocals and guitars, Marky Balboa, drums and backup vocals, and Fast Eddie Lyons on bass and backup vocals. Recorded at AAA Recording Studios in Albany, produced by John Chiara and Blackcat Elliot, engineered and mixed by John Chiara. Music by Blackcat Elliot, lyrics by Costas Gus Highs. And again, the song Frank's going to spin is Enjoy the Duchess from Blackcat Elliot.
Blackcat Elliot with Enjoy the Duchess. You over there shaking your head, Jim? What do you say?
I liked that.
Yeah.
Gosh, darn it.
Darn good.
Love those chord changes.
I yes. Man, that whole little whatever they're playing during the chorus there, right out, right? And that kind of progression. Oh gosh. It was great. I think I would have preferred the guitar up a little higher in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nitpicking, but
yeah,
I enjoyed the song. I thought it was
a good
really
tune.
great. How long was that?
I think it's right at 3.
Yeah, 2:58.
Okay.
2:58. Yeah, perfect length.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they know how to end a song.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes a song will be 3 minutes and feel like a lifetime.
Yeah.
And that was 3 minutes, and
I could have heard a little more. Yeah, I could have heard a little more. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I really enjoyed that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't want more. I wanted it at the end right there, right at the 3 minute mark.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't need to go any longer. It was just
no, they did. They
said their thing and got
that's
it.
right. That's right.
No,
you know me.
Just from the beginning of it, when it starts off and then it goes in those chord changes. And,
the
vocals go right with it.
Great progression.
Yes. Fantastic song.
Great groove.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you guys and boys. Thank you.
Check them out. They're, like I say, on all socials. So
everywhere. Yeah. BlackCatElliot.com, Spotify, Reverb, iTunes. I saw them. Bandcamp. Yeah.
All right.
Great sounding.
Good deal. Okay, check them out. Next, let's go to Blondie in our top 3 songs. Boy,
did we do top 3 from Blondie already?
No, we
might have done an album.
We did an album. Yeah, I think we did
classic.
It feels like we did, but I don't care.
Okay.
No, I don't
because
either.
I'm happy to talk about my top 3 Blondie songs anytime.
Same here. Yeah.
Well, Jim, Jerry picked it. Let's hear Jerry's top 3 Blondie tunes.
One way or another, even when I hear it to this day, it holds up. It holds up like crazy, that song. And then I always love that song. And then Heart of Glass. I know that's 2 albums and 3 songs, but I mean, those are the ones even they come on now. And I love them. Whatever they did, it holds up. It holds up.
Okay.
So
I can't argue any of those. I kind of got lost with Blondie when they went disco, you know. It loved Deborah Harry, don't get me wrong, but I was still in the rocking mode.
Yeah.
But top 3 songs for me. Hanging on the Telephone.
Yeah. That was honorable mention. Yeah.
Right. Dreamin'. Love that too.
With Clem.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Right. And Call Me.
Oh.
Okay.
All honorable mentions, all good tunes.
Yeah. And I didn't go real deep diving into the catalog because the songs that hit me are the ones that I knew from the radio.
Yeah.
You know, and they're on there for a reason. Good stuff. Now, Jim, what about you?
Call Me was like I got a little burned out on that one because you just could not get away from it.
You could not get away from it.
I'm going with Sunday Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I love that she sings in French on that song.
Right.
Dreamin', because I think that was the first Blondie song I remember hearing. Great video for that.
Mm-hmm.
And Clem Burke in the back, just
pounding it.
Arms flailing like a madman, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one, same thing. Clem picks up the drums and just goes nuts. Like he's kind of rolling through the whole song. Union City Blue.
Yeah. All right.
Great power pop tune.
Yeah.
No disco in sight.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. That is true. All right. Well, there it is. What about the listeners? Top 3 Blondie songs. What songs do you think of, or what are your favorite? We'd want to know. All right. Jim, hold on. You got the next pick for top 3 and for classic album as well. But right now, I've got something real, man. You know, when we search for bands, I go on Bandcamp and I look at a album cover first, And if it's drawn in crayon or something, I move on. I don't even listen to music. I mean, you know what I mean? It has to pull me in right from the get-go. And there was nothing spectacular about this album cover, but I checked the band out, and there's a long story to this that I don't want to drag it on too long. And I'm going to post a link to the video explaining everything, how this all went down with this band. They're just my kind of band, and I'll explain why. They're called Brick City 3. They're out of Newark, New Jersey.
Wait, you say Brick?
Brick City 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah. And that's Newark, New Jersey. And they were a band from 2006 to 2011. That's when they were doing their thing, playing in clubs, and put out a record and all this other stuff. And the band consisted of Cal Payton, Mike Chambers, and Todd Jasko. And 2011 on, as the bio says, life took its toll. Kind of put the band on hiatus. People got sick. Different things happened. Cal ended up passing away. And since then, Mike, the bass player, has had a stroke. He can't play anymore. And Todd, the guitarist and the main songwriter and singer, he had all these CDs sitting in a drawer. And a couple of years ago, maybe last year sometime, he decided, I got to do something with these. So he gets online and he figures out a way to give all these CDs away. And while doing this, people start digging the band. Right? He's getting feedback that, like, holy cow. And he said he sent some to Europe and all over the United States, about $600 in postage.
Oh gosh.
And like I said, I'm going to put the link of his video from YouTube on our YouTube page, so you can go check it out. It's well worth checking out. Right? So they did put out the first album. It was called Brick City 3. Okay. Now, what they used to do is Todd used to record all of their rehearsals. So all this stuff came around, all this newfound love for the band. He says, I got enough stuff here to make another EP at least. And the song I'm going to play for you tonight is called Die Anyway. And it's going to be on the new EP that's coming out tomorrow, September 10th. It'll be released. And I just love the style of the band and the whole bit. And Todd and I have been emailing back and forth, and he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to get a Shake and Abe CD in the mail pretty soon here.
All right.
So
Cool.
But anyways, again, Cal passed in 2015, and it just broke my heart that these guys are loving music. They're friends, they're buddies. And then just one thing after another goes down. But anyways, and everything they do is tongue in cheek. All their songs are just almost to a no FX style.
Oh, okay.
They're hard rockers though. So anyways, this song's called Die Anyway.
Come on, play the song.
Spending some cash, showing no class, scratching my ass, acting all crass. Well, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. We all in the same black 'Cause if this life plan fails, your ass will ride to jail. Well, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. You're all in the same black, white, straight up day. Don't talk back, just listen now. What did I say? So I'll be living till the day is through. Roll up your sleeves, boy, you're trying to. We're all gonna die. There's nothing that you can't do.
Thank you, everybody.
Love it.
All right, that's Brick City 3 with Die Anyway.
That's great.
Now, this is one of the songs that was a demo that became part of the new EP.
Yeah.
This stuff here, there's only a few CDs left. I think he's only had 3 or 4 left online before they're all gone. I picked one up because I had to have it. Great music on this one, by the way.
It's fantastic.
But anyways, what'd you think, Jerry?
I just love the rawness. I love the
Yes.
exuberance. It's right up front. I love the dude doing the backup,
Right.
the callback or whatever. what that
Call
term
and
is.
response.
Thank you. But just to me, sometimes simple is more gooder.
Yes.
That was just great as is. That was great. And then, got a little twang in there once in a while.
Right.
But
It's-
that was fantastic. Right out of the gate. I was
3
doing
guys having fun, right?
yeah, just like us.
I think that's why it touched me so, because you
Yeah.
can tell they're just loving what they're doing. There's not
That was excellent. That was great.
Jim, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Just fun song, funny lyrics, tongue in cheek.
Mm,
Cool,
Very good.
cool tune.
yeah.
And I'd asked Todd for a bio, and he sent me quite a bit. I don't know, you can't see it on this thing, but I mean, he's got.
Psychedelic.
Oh yeah, he still has a love for his band. You can tell, and
Yeah.
it's, I'm hoping that the EP sells well. There's no more music to be had, but he's going to continue on doing his own stuff, and I think that's why I'm enjoying
Yeah.
this so much, because it's I think it's rejuvenated him to say, hey, maybe there is someone that wants to listen to what I have to say.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that. That's very listenable and very good.
All right. Well, check out Brick City 3. They can check them out. They are on Facebook. Todd's keeping the thing going there, and
All right.
yeah,
Excuse me.
just and Bandcamp, the whole bit. Check them out. Okay, let's move on to Jerry's classic album, and this will answer Jim's question: what makes a classic album? Jerry, go ahead.
Yeah, playing it all the way through. To me, personally,
Right.
when this first came out, I'm trying to remember when it was, 87. And I think what first got me was I heard the first song on the radio.
Mhm.
And then that got me and then I saw the video for the second tune. And I still love that video to this day. I watch it on YouTube all the time. It's Let's Work. But to me, where you can just put it on and walk away.
Right.
And go all the way through, I mean, I don't think I don't know if a lot of people pick Mick Jagger's second solo album as a classic, but I did. And that's
Right.
that's all.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's all that matters.
Now
But
for
yeah.
me, I had to research it a little bit, because even going back and listening to the singles, I didn't really remember them.
Mm.
But I looked at, Dave Stewart helped produce this thing. You can hear him all over it.
Huh.
Wrote a couple of the songs.
G.E.
Very-
Smith,
Oh,
From-
very good.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Jeff
Uh,
freaking Beck.
yeah, and Vernon Reed. I mean, a lot of people played on this album.
Yeah.
And-
David
No, it's-
Sanborn.
Right.
A lot of big
Now-
names.
You can tell that is Mick Jagger's music on this solo album. It is
Yeah.
nothing
It's not Keith.
nothing like the Stones.
No.
You would never, if it wasn't for his identifiable voice,
Yeah. Yeah.
those songs would never be around
Great-
a Rolling
music.
Stones album.
Yeah.
Pop music, dance music, all the way,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
rhythm and
It's great.
blues.
I love
you
it.
know? Yeah, I listened to it and I'm like, okay, next one. And I don't like the ballads. Mick is a whiner, is all the singer,
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite. Yeah. So
and he's got a couple of them on there that just, oh no, Mick, no, but the music is awesome. The
music's
players,
great.
yeah. But and I look, it didn't sell. I mean, and the whole thing, what I was getting back to before, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were fighting before this album came out, because
I bet that's what Keith did solo stuff too.
Keith wanted to go on the road and promote the latest album. Keith didn't want to, or Mick didn't want to do it. He wanted to write this album.
Yeah.
So he's trying to prove to Keith Richards, I can be a star on my own. And he fell flat on his face. Yeah. And that's why they are what they are. They are a team.
Mick was, what was the quote? It's the singer, not the song.
Right.
Sorry, Mick. It's really the song.
For that band, it is. It is absolutely the song.
Yep.
Yeah. But
well, he proved it on that album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like it a lot. I was like, that's way better than, I liked it.
Now, I liked his first solo album 100 times better.
Yeah.
His first solo album did 100 times better.
Got a lot of airplay. Yeah.
So I don't know what transpired between the first one and the second one. I think he just did an album of what he wanted to do and what his vision was.
That's right.
Not listening to a producer or whatever. But I don't know. What'd you think about it, Jim?
It sounds very much like a record of the time. It sounds like 1987 pop music. And it's got those kind of
bass and keyboard.
Processed guitars. It's kind of a clear tone, and it's to be honest, I hate that kind of sound.
Sterile music.
Yeah, sterile. That's how it sounds.
Well, now if we go back to our last episode, Huey Lewis was no different. But the songs,
even Huey Lewis had more crunch, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're all about the same time, Yeah.
Now there were songs on here I did enjoy, but having said that, and I could remember hearing is it called Let's Work? Is that the
that was
first single? Okay. So I can remember hearing that on the radio. But to me, overall, there was nothing crazy hooky on the record. Like you're not going to turn on the radio and hear Let's Work.
Great point. Hooks did not exist on this. This was a full song.
But other Stone songs from that era, you're not going to hear probably on the radio either. You're going to hear a little later stuff, and you're going to hear earlier stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of lost their way in the 80s, I think, a little bit.
The one track on this album that stood out to me that was my favorite was "Shoot Off Your Mouth." And
that's a good one.
Little more crunch to it.
A little more crunch to
it. Little more sass.
And that was maybe that was my calling for the Stones vibe, even though it was not Stonesy at all. It was just Mick.
Well, it didn't have that Stones groove.
No, it's just completely different music. Jerry, what about you? What was you have a favorite on that album?
Either Throwaway, which is track 1,
right.
But Let's Work. And the reason I stuck on that is the video for it.
See, I don't remember the video.
I saw the video first. Watch it and see if nothing kicks in.
Right.
Yeah, I watched the video and didn't remember it.
Now that's probably my intro to it, is something's happening somewhere and the video comes on and I watch it and I fall in love with it. And then I know track 1, Throwaway. I know I heard that on the radio.
Yeah, that was like the second single.
Yeah, I don't know which one was first, but yeah. No, I like this. I like the music. Maybe that's why, because it takes me back to a certain time.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it very much. I like the music, the musicianship. I didn't know it had all them people on it.
Big stars.
I love it. I just love it. Certain keyboard sounds, certain riffs I like. So yeah, good old Mick.
It did good on Hot Dance Music Club Play.
They probably released like a 12-inch single.
Dance mix,
yeah.
Dance mix or something.
Very interesting. And I got to go back and watch the video. Like I said, as I'm listening to it, none of them sounded familiar. It's just the voice is so familiar. So
Right.
That's so identifiable right off the bat. But all right. Now, what about after that? Let's see. What came after that particular album?
Yeah, he had one more solo record.
He had one in 91, which would have been 4 years after that. And I thought he did another one. I'm not sure if that was it.
Let's see real quick. Albums. Okay. Goddess of the Throwaway Door in 2001. Wandering Spirit 93. And Primitive Cool in 87.
Yeah, and then She's the Boss.
She's the
85.
Boss. I've got that one over here on LP. That's the only one that I've got. But okay, so he's got, and then he did the soundtrack for Alfie. So I wonder if some of his songs are on there. And he's working with Dave Stewart again.
Yeah.
I think Dave Stewart just had a birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
That guy's,
I think I saw that somewhere.
Fantastic musician himself. So can't take away in the stuff he did with Eurythmics and everything.
No.
Gosh.
Platinum Weird was a little weird, but Eurythmic stuff was dead on.
Right. Okay. Well, Jim, again, you've got the next pick for the next classic album.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let that go too far. But right now, you've got some new music for us.
I do. And this has been, I'm going to go long on the bio. I never go long on the bio.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting story.
It never stopped me. Yeah, it never stopped me.
Well, number two, I never get long bios from anybody.
Yeah, true.
So here we go. So my band tonight is called The Others CA. And I believe originally called The Others, but they were active 88 to 92. They formed in 88 in San Diego, the original lineup of Alex Tennant, Patrick McCaffrey, and John Gillard played their first show at the New Sounds of the 60s. When it was time for them to perform, they were told that they were cut from the lineup due to time constraints.
Wow.
And that the next band on the flyer was going to get on stage and perform their set. So they were a little unsure what to do. So a friend of theirs acted as sort of their quasi manager, gets over it, starts talking and arguing with the booking agent. While this is going on, they jump on stage, not their gear, but they just plug in and jump on the drums.
Sweet.
And just start going for it. And they're about 4 songs in and the venue cut the power.
Bastards.
And they said, look, either we cut the Others now or you don't get to see Donkey Show, who was the follow-up band, which were a pretty big band.
Right.
At that point, the crowd started bouncing up and down in unison and chanting, the Others. So, but they didn't get to continue their set, but they made their point, right?
What a story, though.
I know. What a great story. That's so rock and roll.
Love that.
So anyway, so they continued to do a bunch of live shows, San Diego, LA, playing all kinds of crappy clubs. Ended up going through a drummer change. And but they continued performing, playing shows with No Doubt, Hepcat, The Question, Manual Scan, and The Loved Ones.
Wow.
And a bunch of other bands came through the local scene. They did 2 demo tapes that got passed around the scene. That would be the catalyst for many live shows, but unfortunately never got a proper recording. But towards the end of 92, Dave decided to part ways with the group. It was time of reevaluation for Alex. He decided he wanted to move on, get on with college, do some other stuff. So the band ended up breaking up. So over the course of the next few decades, John reached out periodically to Patrick to get the group back together, do a little reunion show. But Patrick had been estranged from Alex for like 25 years. And he's like, look, the only way I would do this is if we get Alex, back in the band. So they did a little sleuthing around, found him, had a Zoom meeting in 2022, and they decided, hey, we'll just get together and we'll do like a one-off show.
Mm-hmm.
So they played that at Vespa Motorsport in San Diego. People went a little nuts and they kind of got the bug and decided, hey,
we still got it.
We still got it.
Right.
So after that show, they decided to just kind of keep rolling. They met up with their former drummer, Dan Klein, who had a recording studio, recorded songs, which became known as the album New Old Stock, which I think is like kind of the perfect
you
name,
go.
which was released in 2023. And so the song we're going to hear off this is called It Could Have Been Mine. So go ahead and drop the needle in the groove, Frank.
Well, someone told me that there's a fine line. We'll pick a cliche because it won't be mine. You call me foolish and you call me blind. At least I've got the balls to speak my mind. It's the same thing every week, yeah. All I need is just a little more time. I thought I heard him say that it could have been mine. It could have been mine if I gave it the time. It could have been mine if I gave it a try. So pick a number now, go stand in line. Window reflection, speak my mind. And the counter woman, she's so unkind. But to feel this way doesn't make it right. It's the same thing every week, yeah. All I need is just a little more time. I thought I heard him say that it could have been mine. It could have been mine if I gave it the time. It could have been mine if I gave it a try. And so I flow through my dreams in a surreal world. It doesn't mean anything how your dreams unfurl. So pick myself off the ground and look my way, yeah. Just say a prayer and make your way, yeah. So now I stand in somebody else's boots. From where I stood, I told myself, if you fight and you lose, the only one to blame is you. It could have been mine if I gave it the time. It could have been mine if I gave it a try. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh,
It could have been mine. The others.
The other
CA.
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 Do me a favor, real quick, Jerry. Look outside the window and tell me if there's a blue moon out there. Because Jim just picked a song that was 4 minutes and 13 seconds.
Yeah.
What on?
It could have been mine.
Holy mackerel! It could have been yours.
In all honesty, they picked the song. So.
Okay. They picked the longest song on the record. They picked the song that had their wives singing background vocals. They made sure they're
I
getting
loved
points.
it.
Yeah, they got the kitchen sink going on that thing. They had time changes and
That bass work was
wasn't
extraordinaire.
I love that
Trebly like I like it.
high up on the neck business.
Boy, yes.
Yeah, nice song.
Yeah, I'm totally infatuated with that bass playing.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's why you picked the long one, Jaime.
Yeah.
Have that
it
nice
showcase the bass.
nice crunchy guitars, but you hear that bass crystal clear all the way through.
Trebly like I like it, just going to town.
Yeah,
Great riff.
Oh
yes.
wow.
Yes.
And interestingly, they did that little slower tempo change, right? So they did that for the chorus, and then the bridge was in that slower tempo also.
Well, it took me for a loop because I was not expecting it at all.
That was great.
So, no, very good. Yeah, I was looking for them after you'd sent me the music earlier. I was looking for them online, and they are on Facebook. Yeah, I'm trying to get a picture of the what's associated with the song. And it looks like an album cover, but I can't seem to find it. I'm going to keep searching for it till I find it. Other than that, they're just going to have a picture of the band on when we play the music. We'll find out.
So the other CA, this otherca.com is their website. You find them on Facebook at the other CA. You can find them on Spotify at the other CA. On Instagram, they are at _others. No, what do they call underscore? _others_CA.
Very good.
So they're all over the place, and they're playing shows. They're playing out.
That's cool.
They're going to be out here in Long Beach, I think, in like first weekend in October or something like that. So thinking I might just make the trip down there.
Brody.
I'm able to cut loose and go.
Very
kids are back in school, so everything changes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Very interesting. We had 3 very raw bands tonight. Nothing too polished, right?
And
everything
wonderful.
was just good rock and roll all the way through. Man.
Yeah, well, it's stripped down, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's bass guitar and drums.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Same here. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's get to Jim and your top 3 songs for the next episode. Episode 146 is your pick.
Yeah, well, I've been running with this little. I get inspired by what we're doing at the time, and so we're gonna do the top 3 from Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Oh, BTO, excellent.
Since we had a whole episode of Randy Bachman music.
Yes, I love.
Yes, we
BTO.
did.
Love their music. Okay, and how about a classic album?
Okay, I kicked around a few ideas, and this one may be a little unpopular, but we are going to do Nirvana.
Oh,
Nevermind.
all right. I can do that. Very good. Very good.
Does it hold up?
We'll find out.
Still heard all those songs on the radio, man.
Yeah.
At least the singles, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And if nothing else, Weird Al did a great video.
Yeah, I guess made old Kurt very unhappy that he did that video.
Sure he did. Well,
after he signed on to do it, then he was upset with
after that.
Yeah, well, he was upset that they parodied the album cover and everything.
Right.
I guess went a little farther than he expected. So,
well, I always go back to it. It's so tasteless. What did Dave Mustaine say when when that gal asked him in the crowd, what do you have anything to say about Nirvana?
Yeah.
Great.
What did he
shot.
say? It was a great shot.
Yep. So that was his displeasure of the times. So, anyways, fantastic show. We'll listen to Nirvana Nevermind, or at least revisit it for next episode. Top 3 BTO. My.
That's gonna be good.
That's a good one. Yes.
Yep.
All right, Jerry, you got anything before we get out of here?
I do, Jim and Frank and folks out in Conspiracy Land. The music's out there. You heard it, the 3 bands tonight. We have Blackcat Elliot. Thanks again, Gus. Brick City 3, and the others CA. And all great bands, all great tunes, and especially with my wonderful cohorts here. Keep rocking, folks. It's out there. We appreciate you listening and watching, and keep rocking.
Absolutely. And of course, with this heat finally starting to break, you know what you have to do. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Oh, dang. Yep.
Again, Hyman.
Yes. Jim, what about you?
Well, if you made it this far, smash that like button. I'm gonna pander for likes. Smash that like button.
So mash it.
Subscribe, ring that notification bell. We'll slide into your DMs roughly every 2 weeks or so. Leave a comment down below. Tell us where you stand on Blondie. You like the disco era? You like the earlier stuff?
Mhm.
What are your 3 favorite Blondie songs?
Mhm.
What do you think of Mick Jagger? Better with the Stones, better without the Stones? What do you think of our 3 bands tonight?
Yes.
Say good things.
Buy
Yeah.
their stuff. Go to Bandcamp,
Yeah.
Spotify, iTunes.
Drop a couple bucks, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not. No.
All right, guys. Well, if there is nothing else, Jim, why don't you take us on home?
Shop is closed.